When the world stops clapping, you learn to clap for yourself. Unknown ascendant. There's a silence only a few ever notice, not the peaceful kind, not the meditative pause you hear about in self-help books. This is different. It's gritty, it's echoing, it's uncomfortable, and it's yours. If you've ever felt like the world just stopped making sense, if the things that used to spark you now feel fake, if you're seeing through people like you've got X-ray vision, if you're walking through life like you know something they don't, you're not broken, you're becoming. You're in the thick of what I call the Sigma villain origin story. And no, this isn't about turning evil or plotting revenge behind a mask. It's about waking up, seeing the system for what it is, feeling the glitch in the simulation, and then opting out of the narrative they wrote for you. Today, I'm breaking down 11 rare signs that you're not just going through it, you're ascending through it. And if even one of these hits you in the gut, it's time to own your transformation. Ascenders, this one's for those of you who've stopped chasing the throne and started building your own kingdom from scratch. Subscribe now if you're tired of waiting for permission to become who you were built to be. Let's get into it. 1. The Vanishing Act. You've gone off radar, and you like it. You didn't just lose touch with people. You didn't get too busy. You disappeared on purpose. You stopped answering calls that didn't spark anything in your chest. Stopped showing up where you felt like a guest in your own life. And instead of panic, you felt peace. See, most people are addicted to being seen. They need validation like oxygen. They broadcast every step. You went dark, not to hide, but to recode. The world is obsessed with visibility, but here's the twist. Real growth happens underground. Seeds don't bloom in the spotlight. They break in the soil. You've made your space smaller, your world quieter. Your phone's on Do Not Disturb, but your mind is alive. You're curating your environment like a hitman preps for a mission. The beauty of the Vanishing Act is that it's not a retreat, it's a repositioning. You're no longer in rooms where you have to shrink. You're creating a world that mirrors the beast inside you. And the irony, the more you disappear, the more magnetic you become. People start asking, where'd they go? But by the time they realize they need your energy, you've built a life that no longer needs their noise. Own it. Silence is your sanctuary. Isolation is your strategy. You're not lost. You're just untraceable by design. 2. Mirror rage. You're mad, but only at yourself. You look in the mirror and you're not smiling, not because you hate yourself, but because you know you're capable of so much more, and you've been sleeping on it. You're not jealous of other people's wins. You're disgusted with the excuses you fed yourself. This is the mirror rage phase. It hits different. It's not self-pity. It's that raw, uncomfortable inner war between who you are now and who you refuse to be a year from now. You start auditing your own patterns like a detective. You call out your laziness. You question your habits. You cancel your own BS. You stop blaming your parents, your ex, your job, the algorithm. You realize the only enemy in the room is the version of you that keeps hitting snooze. But here's the twist. This rage, it's the spark before the transformation. Most people numb it with distractions. You sharpen it into discipline. You start waking up earlier. You stop hoping things get better. You engineer them. You build a new system for yourself from the ground up. Mirror rage is sacred. It means you still believe in your future. It means you're done lying to yourself. And most of all, it means you're ready. Own it. You're not angry because you're weak. You're angry because your potential is knocking and you're finally answering the door. 3. The disloyalty download. Everyone's mask fell off at once. It doesn't happen gradually. It hits like a glitch in the system. One day, you wake up and see everyone's true alignment. The friends who were only there when you were useful. The family members who gaslighted your ambition. The mentors who were threatened when you surpassed them. You start seeing clearly. That person didn't love you. They loved the version of you who made them feel superior. That circle didn't support you. They tolerated you until you broke their hierarchy. It's not paranoia, it's perception. This is the disloyalty download. Your subconscious is updating your contact list. Not your phone one, the spiritual one. Suddenly, the energy feels off in rooms you used to laugh in. Their jokes hit different. Their advice feels outdated. You're not bitter. You're just no longer hypnotized by proximity. You start catching micro-disrespect, the sideways comments, the subtle undermining, and instead of reacting emotionally, you start making silent decisions. You stop telling people your next move. You start using their doubts as data. And here's the power move. You don't confront them. You outgrow them. The disloyalty download is brutal but necessary. It deletes the illusions that kept you stuck in circles too small for your vision. Let them call you cold. Let them say you changed, because you did. You stopped offering warmth to those who stood in your fire just to feel taller. Own it. You're not losing people. You're losing illusions. The real ones won't be shaken by your evolution. 4. Dark mode. Activated. You've stopped explaining yourself. Used to be, you'd feel this urge to justify everything. Why you weren't going out. Why you're not texting back. Why you want more from life. Why your boundaries got tighter. You used to explain because you didn't want to seem rude, because you thought people deserved closure. But now, you've gone full dark mode. You move in silence, not out of fear, but power. Your new favorite language is no response, because you realized something. Explaining yourself is a form of seeking permission, and you're done with that. You're not here to make your evolution comfortable for people still playing level 1. You're not here to babysit egos who can't handle your glow-up. You've reached the part of your origin story where mystery becomes currency. You leave the group chat. You cancel the meetup without guilt. You start telling people, I'm focusing on some things, and that's all they get. Your presence used to be public domain. Now it's premium access only. And the real win? You no longer over-explain even to yourself. You accept that some seasons are just for rebuilding. Quietly, no press release, no inspirational caption, just moves. Own it. They don't need to understand your silence. They just need to feel the shift when you walk in the room again. Reborn. 5. Main character energy feels like a lie. You see it everywhere. Be the hero. Be the main character. Romanticize your life. But you feel disconnected. Because your story isn't cute. It's not aesthetic. It's messy. It's lonely. It's tactical. You don't want the spotlight. You want control. While others chase applause, you chase leverage. While others post morning affirmations, you're reading dark history and sharpening your instincts. You don't feel like a main character. You feel like the narrator behind the scenes, pulling strings, designing arcs. This is the Sigma mindset. You don't want center stage. You want the infrastructure behind the scenes that powers it. You see beyond trends. You feel beyond noise. You don't want to be admired. You want to be unreadable. That's why superficial validation never lands for you. That's why attention exhausts you. That's why you're building alone while they broadcast every breadcrumb. You don't need an audience. You need outcomes. Let them chase aesthetics. You'll chase execution. Let them chase clout. You'll build quiet kingdoms. Own it. You're not the main character. You're the author, the architect, the algorithm. You don't need to be seen to be in control. 6. The burn phase. Everything's falling apart. On purpose. Let's keep it raw. You look around and everything feels like it's collapsing. The job feels meaningless. Relationships are fraying. Your routines aren't hitting like they used to. You feel like you're living in a house made of old code and someone just hit reset. This is the burn phase. It's not chaos. It's calculated demolition. What looks like breakdown is actually data deletion. Your system is erasing outdated files, toxic connections, weak habits, shallow goals. It feels like life's attacking you, but it's not. It's freeing you. See, the burn phase is what happens when your old self can't survive your new standards. You're not falling off. You're shedding. You're not giving up. You're rebooting. But here's the catch. It's not glamorous. No applause. No progress bar. Just long nights, raw truths, and choices that leave you lonelier but lighter. You'll feel tempted to go back, to patch it up, to compromise just a little, to keep people comfortable. But comfort is a liar, and you're not here to be comfortable. You're here to be unshakable. You'll know you're in the burn phase when everything feels unstable, yet you've never felt more alive. When the chaos outside matches the revolution happening inside, let it burn. Let the weak links melt. Let the borrowed identities disintegrate. Because on the other side of this fire is clarity. Not the version of you that fit in, the version that commands the room. Own it. Burn phases hurt, but they purify. This isn't the end. It's the engine ignition. 7. Ascension sickness. You feel restless, even when winning. You're doing what others dream of. You're checking the boxes, money, followers, maybe even some status. But something's off. Every win feels hollow, like a trophy in a game you no longer care about. This is what I call ascension sickness. It hits after growth, after the glow up, after you leave the shadows and finally taste the fruit of your grind, only to realize you've outgrown even this. You're not depressed. You're not ungrateful. You're just misaligned, because you're chasing what your old self thought success looked like. But now, that version of you is gone. You've evolved faster than your goals, and now you're living in a blueprint that doesn't match your new software. So what happens? You isolate again. You start questioning the next level. You stop chasing dopamine and start chasing depth. You want silence, not applause. Solitude, not attention. You want to build things that outlast the moment, not trends. People won't get it. They'll say, "You should be happy." They'll call it a crisis. But it's not a crisis. It's a course correction. You're done living in echo chambers. You're done repeating victories that no longer fulfill you. You're stepping into a different game, one that doesn't fit into other people's metrics. Own it. Restlessness isn't a flaw. It's your signal that it's time to build something deeper, something that matches the power you haven't even unlocked yet. 8. You speak in codes. Now you used to overshare. You used to explain every emotion, every idea, every shift in your energy. Now, you've gone encrypted. You drop lines people don't get. You speak in layers. You pause more. Your words are fewer, but heavier. This isn't shyness, it's strategy. When you speak, it's not to fill the air, it's to alter it. You're no longer explaining your soul to people who haven't met themselves. You say less because you know more, because your inner world is so detailed, so multidimensional, that translating it into surface-level language feels wasteful. You're coded now. To the right people, you're a genius. To the wrong ones, you're unreadable. Good. Stay unreadable. You realize that some truths can't be tweeted, some lessons can't be shared. They're earned. So you write in journals. You speak in metaphors. You express yourself through action, not announcement. And when someone really listens, and I mean really listens, they get a glimpse, a code, a clue. And if they're meant for your orbit, they'll decode it. Own it. Speaking in codes isn't about hiding. It's about protecting the frequency of your mind. If they don't get it, it wasn't for them. 9. Emotional blackout. Your empathy has a kill switch. You used to feel everything. Every sad story got into your chest. Every needy person drained you dry. You were the emotional sponge, absorbing everyone's chaos and calling it compassion. But now, you've entered emotional blackout mode. Your empathy didn't die, it evolved. You no longer hand out emotional access like candy. You don't flinch when someone tries to guilt trip you. You've learned that saving others at your own expense isn't virtue. It's self-sabotage. You still care. You still have a heart. But it now comes with a security system. You've developed emotional boundaries so sharp they cut manipulation on contact. People say, "You've changed." No, you just stopped bleeding for people who bring knives to your peace. You've realized that not everyone deserves the soft version of you, that some people exploit kindness like it's a loophole in your soul. So you turned it off. You trained yourself to detach without guilt. You now respond with clarity, not sympathy. You protect your energy like it's gold, because it is. You understand that empathy is a tool, not an identity, and tools must be used wisely, or they become weapons against you. Own it. You're not cold. You're controlled. You're done being an emotional landfill for other people's dysfunction. 10. Hunger mode. You crave isolation, input, and intensity. There's this fire that doesn't let you rest. Not anxiety, not stress, something deeper, hungrier. It wakes you up in the middle of the night. It makes you write, build, read, overthink, undo, redo, all in silence. You're not hiding from the world. You're training in secret. This is hunger mode. You crave knowledge like it's oxygen. You dive into books, podcasts, documentaries, obscure sources, not to sound smart, but to become dangerous. You start ignoring small talk. You cut surface-level conversations like dead weight. You're starving for substance. You want intensity in everything, relationships, ideas, routines. You don't care about casual. You don't vibe with average. You're becoming more selective, more disciplined. You've turned your solitude into a temple. People wonder why you disappeared, why you don't go out, why you're always grinding. It's because you're not trying to live your best life. You're trying to build your final form. Every ounce of input is calculated. Every day of silence is part of your mental rewiring. You're not lonely. You're strategically isolated. Own it. Hunger is your compass. Let it lead you to the places where comfort can't survive. 11th. Shadow Sink. You've befriended your demons. You stopped running. You stopped pretending your darkness didn't exist. The anger, the envy, the insecurity, the guilt. They're still there, but now they sit at your table like old allies. This is the final level. Shadow Sink. You've faced the parts of you most people bury, and instead of destroying them, you integrated them. You realized your demons weren't trying to ruin you. They were trying to warn you about weak boundaries, about fake people, about paths that weren't yours. You stopped judging yourself for feeling dark emotions. Now you use them like signals. Anger becomes clarity. Shame becomes realignment. Jealousy becomes ambition. This doesn't make you evil. It makes you complete. You're no longer obsessed with being good. You're obsessed with being real. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be whole. The world pushes toxic positivity. You embrace duality because you know that light means nothing without the shadows that define it. Own it. Integration is your evolution. Your shadow isn't your enemy. It's your edge. Ascenders. If you saw yourself in even one of these signs, you're not in a phase. You're in a forging process. What you're feeling isn't burnout. It's a signal, a rebirth, a deletion of who you were told to be, and the upload of who you were always meant to become. You're not the villain. You're the correction to a system that underestimated your silence. You're the glitch that doesn't crash. You recode. You've stopped asking for permission. You've stopped waiting for applause. You've stopped fitting in. Because you were never made to blend. You were built to ascend. Subscribe to this channel if you're done with surface-level content. If you're ready to weaponize your solitude, sharpen your instinct, and build a legacy from the shadows. This isn't just another video, it's your activation signal. Until next time, stay lethal, stay unseen, stay ascending.